The Western Cape now, where police officers in that province have received no in-field training and supervision following their graduation. 62.9% of dockets are lost on the archive system. These are just some of the disastrous findings in the Standing Committee on the Police Needs and Priorities report. And our reporter Monique Mortlock is in Bishop Lavis, where the community says proper policing is desperately needed. Monique, very interesting. Every time we report about the police in action, we talk about the officers themselves, but we forget that, there's some support that they need, and it seems this has now come into light again.
Yes, exactly. We're speaking about things like detectives not getting or not going through basic training. According to this report for 2020-2021 by the Department of Community Safety, the Provincial Community Safety Department, they found that about 45% of detectives here in the province haven't gone through that basic training program. They also found many inefficiencies at various police stations across the province, and I thought it prudent to not only speak about what the report has found, but to also go on the ground in communities where not only politicians and members of who are members of organizations like the Community Policing Forum, but also residents themselves have been calling for additional policing resources. I'm here in Bishop Lavis, where over the last few weeks there's been a spate of shooting incidents. Just last week there was a 2-year-old boy who was shot 5 times in front of his home. Fortunately, he survived. Actually, what some residents are saying is a miracle. He'll be able to return home today. But there was also a lady on that same day as the 2-year-old getting shot, who was shot and killed not too far from where the 2-year-old was killed. And according to the CPF, the incidents may have been gang-related. But to tell us more about what a community like Bishop Lavis needs, I'm speaking to Beverly Fortuin, who's not only part of the CPF, but also part of the Bishop Lavis Action Community. And that group a few days ago held a prayer walk along with residents. Tell me, what was the call by yourself, by Black and residents who took part in this walk, especially following the shootings that have occurred over the last few weeks?
If I can just say, a few years ago, since the start of Black, we had the same, the birth of Black started with a crime in Bishop Lavis, and that took us to join the Religious Forum and the CPF as well in this fight for bringing crime down. And on Friday evening, when we had the prayer walk, we just wanted to support the families that's going through this tough period where they lost loved ones, and this 2-year-old boy that was still in hospital, that is still in hospital. So our call is for community to unite and stand together and say enough is enough. We asking, since 2017, one of our demands was for visible policing in our areas, and that was our cry to the minister as well. And up till now, we can still see, as part of the CPF, if we can say that our police stations are still under-resourced, and police visibility is one of the important components that we need in our areas, because that is they will really see what is happening in the streets. They will be aware of if there's anything brewing or something might escalate, and they will know before the time. But at this moment, with the policing that we have, the little resources that police also have, it's really a struggle for us as community to give to support them. We can only do so much as a community, but we need the government departments, we need everybody really as part of who also brings in projects into our community to be part of a program where we can work on what really the social ills are before we go to the bigger picture. And the social ills is one of the things that we spoke about. Government should bring in their stakeholders also, so that they can work on this issue to bring crime down. And it's really a struggle for us daily, because it has become norm in our society. But at the current moment, as you can see, the tension is really tense in Bishop Lavis. You don't know if you're safe to walk in whichever area. Some of the areas has been identified as hotspots or high crime areas, so it's not really safe. But it's not part of how we want to raise our children. It shouldn't be part of how we want to raise our children.
Thank you very much. That was Beverly Fortuin from the Bishop Lavis Action Community and also from the CPF. And it has to be noted, with Ms. Fortuin speaking about that visible policing, that just down the road from us, as you enter Bishop Lavis, there is a roadblock currently underway, and that's a roadblock done by law enforcement officers. And we know that this was part of the Western Cape government's plan to assist the SAPS by providing those law enforcement officers in areas like Bishop Lavis where where the crime rate is high, and especially following events like the ones Ms. Fortuin mentioned, where that 2-year-old was shot, a female was gunned down, and she lost her life just last week.
All right, Monique Mortlock at Bishop Lavis. Let's leave it there for now.